Sister Wives, the real reason Kody Brown dumped Polygamy. Sister Wives star Kody Brown maintains that he's happily living monogamously with Robyn now. But fans don't think it was fully his decision. Kody and Meri Brown had a complicated split, but Cristin and Janelle left of their own free will. Neither woman wanted to reconcile with him. So did Kody Brown truly ditch polygamy, or did his family just implode? Did Kody Brown's ego make him undesirable? Longtime Sister Wives viewers are keenly aware of how obnoxiously egotistical Kody Brown can be, and that might be why he's struggling to accept his new monogamous lifestyle. Kody is no longer desirable, a Sister Wives fan shared on Reddit. Kody loved polygamy and having a million kids because it made him feel desired. His time and attention was something they all worked for. He didn't have to put effort in relationships. There was always someone waiting for him, always someone wanting him. The OP went on to point out several examples of Kody's egocentric behavior, including, in the most recent episode, he said that of course he was wanted at family events, he just didn't go out of loyalty to Robyn, who is the one they don't want. He was speechless and confused when he asked Cristin if she wanted to be married to him, and she said no. He and Robyn assumed that Christmas with the OG'd must be terrible because Kody wasn't there. He plays up how wonderful of a parent he is to Robyn's kids, expecting that will make the other kids jealous, and cannot seem to comprehend that it would drive them away more rather than make them pursue him. He insists that the phone works both ways and the kids should pursue a relationship with him. Sister Wives fans blame narcissism. Although he hasn't received a formal diagnosis, many Sister Wives fans believe Kody Brown is a narcissist. They think his mental state is slowly starting to break down amid his family's fractures. Other Redditors wrote, "Narcissistic collapse is real, and we're getting a front row seat. Kody only feels good about himself when he is surrounded by vulnerable, needy people, aka pregnant wives, lots of small children who look to him for emotional and physical support. The irony is that polygamy requires the mothers and children to be strong and learn to function with the father being absent, and when they become strong and independent, he doesn't like them anymore. If you didn't know that polygamy and narcissism hold hands, now you know." His comment about him not being invited anywhere because they don't like Robyn seems to me that he could be starting to blame her for stuff that's happened. Just a weird thing to say. Still not taking accountability for his actions by saying it's because they don't like Robyn. Kody Brown sat in the dimly lit living room of his Flagstaff home, his signature curls slightly disheveled. The once boisterous energy that had defined him seemed muted, replaced by a quiet introspection. His wives, well, former wives, for the most part, had long since moved on. Cristin had found happiness with David Woolley, Janelle had embraced her independence, and Meri had embarked on a new chapter in Utah. Only Robyn remained, her loyalty steadfast, though even she appeared weary. The truth was, Kody hadn't chosen polygamy in the way he once thought. He had grown up in the faith, taught that plural marriage was a divine calling, a celestial principle that would lead to eternal blessings. But as he stared at the flickering flames in the fireplace, Kody realized something he had never admitted to anyone, not even himself. He had fallen out of love, not with his wives, but with the very idea of polygamy. The seeds of doubt. The cracks began forming years earlier, though Kody had ignored them at first. He vividly recalled a moment during the height of their Las Vegas days. The family had gathered for a massive Thanksgiving dinner, all 18 children and 4 wives bustling around. It should have been a joyful occasion, but Kody had felt overwhelmed. He wasn't just a father or a husband. He was a manager, a diplomat, and, most of all, a performer. Every smile, every decision, every interaction had been scrutinized, both by his family and the cameras. It wasn't long before the family's move to Flagstaff unearthed deeper tensions. Cristin, once the sunniest of his wives, began openly questioning their relationship. Janelle, his rock, grew increasingly distant. Meri's emotional struggles became more pronounced. And then there was Robyn, whose bond with Kody only seemed to isolate him further from the rest. Kody had often blamed the wives for their lack of effort to make the lifestyle work, but secretly he began wondering. Was the lifestyle itself the problem? The pandemic catalyst. The COVID-19 pandemic, in many ways, was the turning point. For years, Kody had prided himself on his ability to juggle his family's needs. But the pandemic forced him to make choices that highlighted the fractures in their dynamic. His strict rules for safety measures weren't just about keeping the family safe. They were about control, about maintaining a sense of order in a life that felt increasingly chaotic. Cristin's decision to leave wasn't just heartbreaking, it was humiliating. Her departure forced Kody to confront the reality he had been avoiding: that plural marriage was no longer working. The other wives followed suit in their own ways. Janelle began questioning whether the sacrifices she had made for the family had been worth it. Mary, already emotionally estranged, found herself further pushed to the margins. Even Robin, Kody's staunchest ally, began expressing doubts about their future. A shocking revelation. But the real bombshell came during a quiet conversation with his adult children. Garrison and Gabe, in particular, had grown increasingly vocal about their frustrations with Kody's choices. One evening, over a tense family Zoom call, Garrison dropped a truth that hit Kody like a punch to the gut. "Dad, maybe the problem isn't the wives. Maybe it's the way polygamy sets everyone up to fail." The words lingered in the air, unchallenged. For the first time, Kody saw his children's lives through their eyes: the constant juggling, the missed milestones, the emotional neglect. Polygamy, as he had practiced it, wasn't just hard, it was fundamentally flawed. Kody's inner struggle. As the months passed, Kody wrestled with his feelings. His faith had been his compass for decades, guiding his decisions and shaping his identity. To abandon polygamy felt like a betrayal of everything he stood for. Yet, the evidence was undeniable. His family was fractured, his relationships strained, and his own happiness elusive. In the quiet moments, Kody began to ask himself a dangerous question. What if polygamy wasn't his divine calling after all? What if it had been a choice made in earnest but perpetuated out of fear and obligation? The final decision. The decision to leave polygamy wasn't dramatic. It was a quiet, gradual acceptance. Kody began spending more time alone, journaling and reflecting on his life. He sought counsel from spiritual leaders outside his faith, who encouraged him to seek his own path to fulfillment. One evening, as he sat across from Robin at their kitchen table, he finally spoke the words he had been avoiding. "I think it's time we let go of the idea of plural marriage. For good." Robin's reaction surprised him. She didn't cry or argue. Instead, she nodded slowly, her expression a mix of relief and sadness. "I've felt that way for a while, Kody. I just didn't know how to say it." Moving forward, Kody's decision to abandon polygamy wasn't about rejecting his faith or his family, it was about embracing authenticity. He began working on rebuilding his relationships with his children, apologizing for the ways his choices had affected them. He reconnected with Cristin, Janelle, and even Mary, not as a husband, but as a co-parent and friend. As for Robin, their relationship evolved into a more traditional partnership. Without the weight of plural marriage, they found a new rhythm, one that felt lighter and freer. Kody's journey away from polygamy wasn't just about leaving a lifestyle, it was about rediscovering himself. For the first time in years, he felt hopeful, not because he had all the answers, but because he was finally asking the right questions.